Hello ladies, I'm back. Just gonna get comfortable in my spot. If you are here, let me know that you're here so that I know that I'm live. Wow, it's so nice to be back to Empowered Life series, and today I am gonna talk about what to do when we get in our own way, and I'm so excited to be here to talk about it. So just gonna wait a few seconds, maybe a few more people want to join, and don't forget to say hello if you're here and to get comfortable. Hey Rachel, nice to see you virtually. It's so nice to be back in Israel, even though I can't quite yet leave the apartment. Hey Mandy, can't quite yet leave the apartment. I'm still in isolation. I've got 5 more days, so it's like the final countdown. But already the energy of just being back in Israel is so exciting. And Mandy, I can't wait to get my goddess mask. So I'm gonna begin today by talking about what to do when we find ourselves getting in our own way. Because in life, we are our own best friend and we're always with ourselves, but often it can feel that we are our own worst enemy sometimes. And that little sneaky saboteur gets in the way and tries to stop us. And life is this journey, and there's always going to be barriers and obstacles and mountains to climb. But the wonderful thing is that we hold the map and we are holding the steering wheel and we are guiding ourselves through this wondrous way. And it's just about kind of creating and collecting these little tools and creating this toolbox so that when this does arrive, we know how to chop down the hedges and move those boulders and ride those waves. And this is something that was definitely at the start of my healing journey. And I would say to coaches and therapists, just save me, like just tell me what to do and I'll do it, but just save me, like please, like just give me a freedom bird, just give me wings. And they'd say, Georgia, you are your own freedom bird, and you are your own guardian angel, and you have your own wings. And it's true, we all have our own wonderful, beautiful wings, and sometimes they feel a bit clipped or a bit dusty and we need to unruffle the feathers, but they're here, and it's just about nurturing them and cultivating them. So this full moon is a time where it's all about getting organized and really seeing into our vision and decluttering and how can we get more organized. And this is something that we need to do in everyday life, but we often get in the way of ourselves. So it's a really amazing opportunity to just get clear on our vision. What is our vision? What is our goal? What do we want to achieve this month? And really seeing it and getting clear on it and getting excited by it and envisioning us being there. And often when we feel it and we get excited, it's like we're running, and we're about to get to the edge. But then before we jump, we like jolt and we feel stuck. Hey Ray. Yes, exactly. Be your guardian angel. So what do we do in those moments where we feel that momentum and we know we have these gifts, or we know that we're going to achieve this goal, or we have so much to give, or we want to do this thing, and we're running and then we just stop? And in that moment, it's about feeling into what is there. Okay, what is keeping me stuck? What is keeping those shackles? What is keeping me in this prison? Is it fear? So I invite you to, if you want to do it now or maybe later, but get a notebook and to envisage yourself on that edge and you're about to jump and you can't. What is in the way? Is it fear? And often fear is it feels huge and it's all encompassing, and it keeps us trapped and it keeps us small. And even though it's uncomfortable to be in this place sometimes. It keeps us in the comfort because we're not jumping out of our comfort zone. Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of success? Is it all those thoughts that we tell ourselves that it's not the right time, when I'm more settled, or when I have more money, or when I have that house? What are those thoughts that are keeping you from jumping over the edge? And once you've written them down, I invite you to look at them. And this is a perfect time to actually show yourself of the times that you have felt the fear and you've done it anyway. When was the last time you felt that fear and you still jumped? Because you have done it. There's been countless times that you've done it. But that sneaky saboteur in your mind tries to stop you from remembering that, or tries to keep you stuck in that fear. So remind yourself today, ladies, of a time recently that you felt the fear and you did it anyway. And that's moving a boulder out of the way already. Yes, Tamara, absolutely. Hi, Tamara. While we're in the fear, we're not in love. And it keeps us stuck. And it's a way, exactly, it's a way of stopping us showing ourselves that self-love. So right now, in this moment, I want you to come back to yourself, come back to the love, come back to the guardian angel that you are, and remind yourself of a time that you felt the fear and that you did it anyway. And another boulder that feels heavy and is sitting on us is that, well, what if I fail? And that is something that does feel scary. What if I can't do it? Or what if I don't succeed? Or what if people judge me? So then I want you to ask yourself, okay, so what is the worst thing that can happen if you do fail? Because just thinking about it is like being stuck in a rocking chair. You're moving back and forth, but you're not actually going anywhere. But if you dived in, and even if you didn't succeed, you still jumped. You felt that fear and you did it anyway. So worst case scenario, you don't succeed and you go back to doing what you did before, but you still tried. And that is a huge triumph. So it's about looking at these fears and these thoughts that are keeping us stuck and reminding yourselves of the time that you have done that. And the time that you've done that and you have succeeded. So me and Rachel run Body Love Talks, and I'm so passionate about it. And it's a workshop where we meet to just come back together as women, but to come back home to ourselves and to our bodies, and to remind ourselves that we are our own best friend and that our body does have us, and to really come back to cultivating that loving dialogue with ourselves. And I used to have this resistance, and I don't want to do the workshop, like I want to put it off, like what if no one comes? And I was stuck in this fear of what if nobody comes? And you know what Ash said to me? She said, gee, when I first started the moon circles, maybe one person came, 2 people came, but they still came. And that really helped me. And yeah, there was a time when me and Rach, I think we had 2 women, but those 2 women had the most unbelievable, healing, nourishing experience of being in that workshop. And that was 2 women that me and Rachel helped and also created this connection. And then they came again, and then more women came the next time. So it's just about asking ourselves, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? Because it's really not as bad. And fear, we create it in our minds, and it becomes this we can't grasp it, but it almost chokes us. But when we come back to reminding ourselves of those times that we have done it, it bursts that bubble and it fucking moves that boulder out of the way. And yes, the incredible Ashley did a workshop all about visions, and it's about diving into that and then using these little tools for when that little saboteur creeps in. And procrastination, ladies, procrastination. The bane of so many of our lives, and days go by and we've given ourselves this to-do list. I'll put it off, or I can't be bothered, and we don't do it, and we procrastinate and we put it off. But we never really put it off because it sits on us, doesn't it? And so we're never in the moment because we haven't really put that thing off, because it's weighing on us and it's another boulder that's in our way. And procrastination is sneaky because it gives that saboteur another reason to beat ourselves up of why we haven't done this, or we're really lazy, or fucking hell, like I can't even do this one thing, and then it keeps us stuck. But it's deeper than that. It comes back to those fears and those negative thoughts that we have, that we're telling ourselves over and over again of, what's the point of even doing that thing, because I'm not going to succeed anyway. So when that little sneaky saboteur arises, again, just remind yourself of the time that you did do that one small thing and how good you felt. And those small, tiny things are the biggest triumphs. And when it comes to being in our own way and really feeling the fear, the procrastination arises, that sneaky little saboteur, how can we best manage it so it doesn't feel all-encompassing? And so getting clear and being consistent is so important, but it can be detrimental when we give ourselves too much to do, because then what happens? Shit, I've got to do this, and this. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Right, I'm just not going to do any of it. And again, that's what happens. We're in our own fucking way. So just give yourselves a few small little tasks that you can tackle that then says fuck you to the procrastination and says, see you later, sneaky saboteur. And I really love to write them down, my to-do list and tasks. And then, because then when you scribble it off, it's orgasmic, isn't it? Like, how fucking good does that feel when you just scribble that thing off? So yesterday, for instance, the only thing that I managed to achieve was 6 months later sending my accountant all my invoices and my receipts and things that he needed. But I fucking ticked that off the list and it felt so good. And I said, see you later, procrastinator. And I really did feel this sense of achievement. And again, it doesn't have to be that you're conquering these huge things. Celebrate yourselves. You know, even if it's just that you've been avoiding putting your laundry away, and then you say to yourself, I'm just gonna fucking do it, and you do it. That's getting out of your own way. And it's celebrating that. And it's not making these tasks too difficult to conquer. Another thing that is so important is, who is your team? Who are your people? And that's so important when we can't be accountable for ourselves sometimes. And it's easier to be accountable to others. So while we've got our training wheels on and we're still getting there, is there somebody that could be an accountability partner that would be happy to check in with you, to be like, hey, you said you were going to do this thing, just checking in. Not that it has to make you feel nervous, but just that it's like, yeah, I forgot to do that thing, amazing. And Ash used to do that with me, you know. I said, like, Ash, I love CrossFit so much, or like, I love moving my body, but there's something, I'm getting in my own way with it. And she'd message me, be like, hey, G, you said you wanted to go to CrossFit this week, have you been? And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm going to do something to move my body. So who are those people that can be your accountability partners? Because again, while we're on this journey, it's hard to be accountable to ourselves right at the very beginning. That can feel really, you know, it's easy because we let ourselves down all the time. But if somebody is kind of in a loving, nurturing way asking us, then, and you can set the boundary. Please check in with me on this day. Please check in with me on that time. So it's how you want it. And then it really helps to keep you on that track. And who are your cheerleaders? Who are those people that believe in you when you don't believe in yourself, or that are there to remind you of the things that you have done, or to remind you that you are on your path and you are on your way, and that you're going to tackle this one thing this week. And I am so grateful that on my journey and working with women that I have cultivated this incredible network of cheerleaders. And I really, really have my cheerleaders who are supporting me and are sitting on my shoulder. And I get in my own way all the fucking time, but my cheerleaders are always there when I need them. And it's kind of like in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Who is that phone a friend in that moment? And it's so helpful because they then reflect back to you again. If you can't quite think of the times that you have succeeded, or the times that you have felt the fear and done it anyway, or you're stuck in the mind, phoning a friend and phoning that accountability partner, phoning that cheerleader is so useful. And that is a tool to put in your toolbox. And the incredible Shuli Uzan, who is Ash's mother-in-law-to-be, is an incredible coach, and she's my coach. And she said to me, G, when that saboteur arises, and it tells you that you can't do it, or you're feeling resistance, who is your army? Who is your metaphorical army that is going to push that saboteur off your shoulder and is going to help you march through? And you know what? I closed my eyes and it was so fun imagining who this army is, and we're all in this like Wonder Woman kind of like armor, and we're marching and we're all holding hands together, and it is that goddess gang, and it's my women, and you know, Ash and Rach were on one side of me, and all the women in the goddess temple, and we were marching together like, we got this. And so that's a really fun exercise to do. When that saboteur arises, it doesn't have to be real people. It could be Disney characters. It could be Power Rangers. It could be your own creation. But who is your army that you're going to cultivate of strength and bravery and feeling the fear and doing it anyway, who are here? And when that saboteur comes, they're going to help guide you forward. And that's a really great tool to plop into your toolbox. And it's just slowly creating this toolbox that you have these, that when that saboteur arises, or when you feel like you are on the edge, and you're there. I remember that feeling, and I still get it sometimes. I'm on the edge, and I just want to jump. Why aren't I jumping? What is keeping me in that quagmire, in that quicksand, that is keeping me on that cliff that I can't jump? Well, it's fucking me. But what are those fears? Writing them down, and then showing myself all the times that I did succeed, and I did make a difference to someone's day, or I did tick off my to-do list. And those small little victories are huge triumphs. Thanks, Mandy. Superwoman. You really are Superwoman. So yeah, it's so exciting cultivating that army. So it's a really fun exercise to do, and it's a perfect time. You know, it's been the full moon, and it's when we're creating that vision. So with creating our vision, we're creating this army of our own light workers that are helping us through. And that saboteur is always going to come. It's always going to come. And our brain is always going to try and tell us of why we can't do something, or try to keep us small. But it's about remembering that you're not small. You are light. You are powerful. You are incredible. And you've shown up for yourself so many times, and you're going to do it again. And just reminding yourself again, you know, if all those fears are coming up, what is the worst that can happen? Just ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? And so you don't succeed, or one person comes to your workshop, or you didn't get the best mark on the essay that you really wanted to get full marks on. You know, whatever it is, it's never as bad as we think it's going to be. And if we're just still sat in that rocking chair, moving backwards and forwards, but not actually taking that leap, then that's just another way of our saboteur showing up and saying, oh, well, you didn't do that. And our brain trying to find reasons of why we can't. So it's, again, reminding ourselves of why we can, but also how we have before. And when that procrastination feels so real and it's demotivating, and sometimes, you know, life isn't fucking easy, and it's not all roses. And there are days where we have to fight so hard to find that fire deep inside, because there are days when I do have that existential sadness in my soul, or what's my purpose on this planet, or can't find motivation in my day. But it's about breaking it down and just tackling one thing that I want to do, and that is getting me one step closer to my vision. Even if it was just my vision for the week, then it's then getting me closer to my long-term vision. And it's constant, but it's also exciting. And again, we are holding our map. We're cultivating our map. We are steering our ship the way that we want it to go. And when we understand that, and also that when that saboteur arises and when those thoughts come, that they're not facts, and to see them and to say, okay, I see you, fear. I see you, loneliness. I see you, sabotage. I see you, procrastinator. But I'm not you, and I can tackle you, and I will. And when we have that army of women around us, or our accountability partners and our people, you know, life isn't supposed to, we're not supposed to navigate this life alone. And it's scary sometimes when we feel like we have to tackle all of these things by ourselves, but we really don't. And that's what the beauty of the Goddess Temple is, and women community, is that we're all here together, and we are here to show each other and remind each other of our light when sometimes we can't see it. And how incredible is that? Hi ladies that just tuned in. So when you see those boulders or those hedges, or you're trying to cross that river and it feels like, how do I jump? Or that mountain feels too high. Just remind yourself of the times that you have conquered and that you will do it again. And consistency is key, but the key to keeping in the consistency is not giving yourself too much to tackle. So ladies, this week, I really invite you, if you haven't yet watched Ashley's workshop, to watch Ashley's workshop on really tuning into your vision. And once you have, and you feel the resistance and you feel that fear that feels so strong, or whatever's keeping you stuck, just see it and dive into it and write it down. Write all those fears down, and then remind yourself of how you have jumped into the fear. You felt it and you've done it anyway, and you'll do it again. And that's a really, really powerful feeling, and that in itself gets rid of these fucking boulders, because half the time we think they're there and they're not actually there. So ladies, it was a pleasure, and I'm gonna add a link to Scheduling Your Week Like a Goddess, the incredible worksheet that Ashley made. And if you haven't yet downloaded it, you can download it, and it'll really help you to get clear on your week and the things that you want to tackle. And remember, little tiny, small, manageable bites that you can scribble off that feel so fucking good. And it's clearing the way, clearing the way, clearing the way, so that you're showing up for yourself and your light is shining. And that feels so, 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 so good. And again, accountability partners or coaches, life coaches are incredible for really helping you to get clear on your goals, to stay accountable, and to help you understand and see your worth and know that you have done it and that you will do it again. And I feel so passionately about that, and the fact that my coach constantly reminds me that when that saboteur comes, I have my army, and I wanted to pass that on to you ladies as well. And please, 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 I would love to hear if you have already envisaged or you see your army, to write down who they are and what she is and what she looks like and what she's wearing and what she says to you and who your team is when that saboteur arises. And I would also love to hear, I would love for you to write one thing that you have done that you've moved your own boulder out of the way. One thing that you've done already this week, that you've moved your own boulder out of the way and you've proved to yourself that you do feel the fear and you jump. And sometimes it's just about pulling that trigger, because there's never a right time, and we can rationalize it and we can tell ourselves when this day comes, there's never a right time. So just pull that trigger today, ladies. Pull that trigger. Say see you to that saboteur. Bye-bye, procrastinator. And jump. Jump. Have a great day.